Hey guys, got a couple things. I got somebody looking for some land in Northeast PA. If you're one of the people who uses the Land OS for us, great. I have somebody else you can search for. You can let me know. The second thing I wanted to cover is that when you're looking to fill out the forms, go to REI homepage, go under Resources, JV, Forms and such, Seller Form. Go there. Because right now we're kind of changing how we do the intake because things are starting to come in pretty quick. Um, and so I'm changing which seller form I'm using and when it's getting used. So use that link to find the right one. And again, like I said on previous calls, make sure you fill in the links. You know, it's one thing to say the seller didn't tell me this, the seller didn't tell me that. Okay, fine. You didn't, they didn't tell you, fine. You asked the question, you didn't get an answer, fine. But things like the prop stream link, the flood zone, whatever, you're in control of that. There's no reason the forms should come in without that. Because all you're doing is saying, hey, Steve, I don't respect you enough to do the research required. I want you to do it. And then honestly, I have to say, okay, have you really done your share of it? So please do that for me. Give me that information. And I want to circle back, and no one's available today, so I'm just going to make this quick. I wanted to circle back and just remind everybody if it's listed, it doesn't really count. Okay? If it's listed, if it's advertised, if it's whatever, we get into a match with another agent, another wholesaler, another whatever. And you bring me another wholesaler, and that's fine. That's a good conversation. Um, and you do make money if you bring in another wholesaler, another agent, another cold caller. But if you just say, "Hey, this thing has an agent," don't bother collecting the information on it. Unless they're willing to drop their agent, don't bother. Has another wholesaler, has an ad. Has an ad rarely is going to work. Now, the only sector in that which that works, that something listed will typically still be okay, is in the self storage community. And I don't even know if I put the screen back online, so I'll put the screen back online now. In the self storage community, we have chosen markets. My partners and I have chosen markets. We can give you lists of people to call in these markets. And you can dial, like literally, it's a list of places to call. Now, within this, U-Haul, we don't want. We don't want major brand names. None of these other ones are major brand names. So, like, I don't really think that's a big problem. Um, but U-Haul, Extra Space, we don't want them. They're not going to help us. And all you're doing in there is you're calling to get access to um, you're calling to get access about information about the property, and you're calling to talk to the manager, and you're calling to see if they're interested in selling. Now, some of these have built into them. Of course, I'm going to something else. Phone number, website, operating, latitude, longitude, fine. Some of them have owner phone numbers. It's over here somewhere. Owner phone, boom. You have owner phone numbers. Use them. I will provide, have provided, and I will provide the scripts. I'll put it up on the website right now. The script is different because you're trying to do three things. You're trying to gain information about the property. You're calling up as if you're a tenant, prospective tenant. Hey, I'm doing a flip in the area. I'm not sure what I'm going to need. What do you have available for units? Oh, you got some 4x5s and some 5x20s. Okay, great. Can you help me with the rates on those? How many of each do you have? You're gauging interest. You're building rapport. Then you say, hey, are you the owner? Oh, you're not the owner? Okay. Well, I'm also a buyer of self storage facilities, and I wanted to find out from the owner or from the manager more about the market and so forth, more about the viability. And maybe if you guys were open to selling, great, let's have that conversation. A lot of times they're going to shut you down because the manager's job is to filter you from the owner. The owner's job, if you get to the owner, then you have a whole other kettle of fish. And you can ask actual ownership questions, which we can provide you those as well. So self-storage is one area where if it's listed, if it's wholesale, we might still be interested within the markets we want. And this is the last thing I wanted to mention real quick, is that guys, it's great to say I found a deal in Tulsa, I found a deal, because it sounds fun. It's somewhere far away, it's somewhere unique. I get it. And it sounds like an exciting deal. Problem is we don't know those markets. We don't have boots on the ground in those markets. We don't have anything in those markets. And so and we don't even know if those are good markets. You know, it's one thing to say, Nair and I had a conversation about, I think it was Indianapolis. Well, Indianapolis is a great rental market. Yes, but that doesn't mean we want land in Indianapolis. That doesn't mean we have the infrastructure to do anything in Indianapolis anyway. So we might build into a structure for Indianapolis, but we don't have to. We might not. So before you go and say, hey, this is a place I want to look, let's have a conversation. Do I have the infrastructure to do it? Do we want to do, is it, what makes it worth doing the research? What makes that market better than where we're already at? What makes it worth doing the research on those markets? So before you jump to something else, you know, let's have that conversation, because our core business is in certain areas and certain types of things. But yeah, guys, listen, it's all about, we have thousands of phone numbers and people aren't calling a lot of them. I'll give you a dialer. I have a dialer. You have the Batch Leads dialer, and we have another dialer. But we're paying thousands a month for these resources. Please. I want you guys to run your own businesses, but I'm trying to guide you into areas where it will work the best. So please reach out before you kind of go off the towns and cities and states that we've talked about and the types of projects we've talked about. Let's talk tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, 11:30. Thanks.